Will the Bengals' losing streak stop at 2? Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien with AllBengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and the Bengals set to travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, who have also lost 2 straight games this Sunday. Zac Taylor's squad back at it today on Wednesday. I just came back from practice, and there's a couple things, big takeaways that we should start with here. First, let's start with the offensive line, because the offensive line has been such a topic over the past month, 2 months, year, 2 years. Depends on how long you really want to go back, but certainly since Joe Burrow's injury, and even before that, which we're quickly approaching the 1-year anniversary of, the offensive line's been an issue. And Trey Hopkins, speaking of injuries, coming off of an injury, an ACL, he had surgery at the end of January, trying to work his way through things. And he admitted that how he's played through 9 games is not his standard, is not the old number 66 that he's used to seeing. So he's trying to work his way through it. Here are a couple clips of Trae Hopkins about exactly that, in Zac Taylor as well, about Trae Hopkins' play, about what he wants to improve on, and how they're looking to change it.
Definitely not where I want to be right now. Hoping to turn that around second half of the season. I don't feel like I've played like the same 66 from the past couple of years. So still trying to iron that out and just find out a way to play better. Just balancing the mental, being mentally prepared for the game, being physically prepared, like getting snaps for practice in the week, and then also physically prepared, just making sure the knee feels as good as it can by Sunday. I would say that's probably the most challenging part of it. Just one extra element to balance. It's hard, but it's one of those things where you look at it and you say, this is, at least from my perspective, I haven't done what I feel like I should be able to do yet. So it's just finding other ways. Okay, where can I find another percent to get better? If you're not practicing Wednesday, what can you do to give you a little bit more of an edge on Sunday? Is it more film? Is it more rehab? It's how do you? I'm just trying to find the perfect balance to be the most productive. So right now, or the past 8 weeks, with the no Wednesdays, the answer has been try to do more rehab. Now we'll continue to increase the rehab, but like I said, I'm not exactly pleased with the first half of the season so far. So now we have to find something else to do, whether that be sneaking in reps on Wednesday, whatever it may be. It's just finding another way to get that next step. I wasn't under the delusion that I was going to be feeling amazing the whole year, having surgery at the end of January. So it was no delusion. I knew what I signed up for, and I mean, now we're just going through it. Be a pro and just do it. There's a lot of things, in life that you don't enjoy doing. It's not fun. It's painful, but you do it anyway. And this is one of those things. I knew when I got hurt, the alternative was being on the sideline, being in the training room, and I didn't want to do that. So this is what I asked for, and they gave it to me. I worked for it, and keep rocking with this thing.
Trey gives us what we need inside. He's a lot of the centers in this league. You need a guy that makes the thing go mentally. I know what his quotes were earlier today. I love guys on this team that hold themselves to a higher standard, and really, regardless of how they played early in the season, they know that they have to improve as the season goes, and that's what you expect from a veteran leader like Trey is. And so, again, we always hold our players to a high standard, but it makes you feel good as a coach to hear guys say, I should be playing better. I want more out of myself. And when you got a whole team of those guys, then usually good things are on the horizon, at the tail end of the season. I think Trey's really attacked the rehab in a mindful way. That's part of our relationship with the trainers and coaches and Trey, and making sure it's all right, and then making decisions as the season goes. And so now we'll get him in the mix a little bit more during the week and see how that changes things on Sunday, good or bad, and continue to make the adjustments. We're always going to be flexible. We're always going to do what's best for the player, and those are just decisions we have to make as we go.
The Bengals gave Hopkins a bunch of rest Wednesdays, essentially. That part is changing. He was out there on Wednesday and is going to practice on Wednesdays, get some reps. They're hoping that can make him feel more comfortable, more confident in that knee. He knows it's not 100%. He knows it's not probably going to be 100% all season long, but he's trying to get as good as he can with what he's doing. And look, it's tough. It is. And I think for Trey to be that honest and open about it, despite what Zac said about, self-criticism and everything, I think it's pretty clear that Hopkins isn't playing up to the standard that we've seen him play at the end of the 2019 season and certainly 2020. So we'll see if he can get back to his pre-injury form in the next couple of games or over the next 8 weeks as the Bengals try to make their playoff push. Another guy that's going to play certainly a role in that is Eli Apple, for better or worse. And I know a lot of you are down on Eli Apple. A lot of Bengals fans don't think he should be starting. Some question whether or not he should be on the team, especially our viewers here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Well, Zac Taylor says Apple's not going anywhere, essentially. And just a couple injury updates. Trae Waynes still rehabbing that hamstring, certainly not close to getting back, on the field for a game. So it's not like he's going to be activated this week and practice with the team or anything like that. So he's still a little ways away. Vernon Hargreaves III, who they acquired a couple of weeks ago, just really had his second full practice. So he's not going to really be in the mix for a starting job, at least as of right now. And the same goes for Trey Flowers, who they view as more of a depth piece. So that means it is all about Eli Apple. Apple's going to start for the Bengals. And here's what Zac had to say. Some high praise from Taylor about Eli Apple. Here's what Zac Taylor had to say about the cornerback room and about Eli Apple.
Eli's the starting corner right now. He does what we ask him to do. I don't know who's got him under fire. We expect our guys to play at a high level. And Eli's got a short memory. If you give up a play that corners are going to give up, he does a great job kind of putting that away and moving on to the next play. And that's critical. It's one of the hardest positions to play in all of football. It's one of my wife's favorite things to say, and it's true. And so I don't envy the position those guys get in, but he does a great job. He plays with a high degree of confidence, and he's done some really good things for us this year. And those other guys have roles that they start to work their way into. Vernon has been here for 1.5 practices basically. Even though it's maybe a 12-day stretch, the players were off and not practicing. Trey has now been around a little bit longer, and we've used him in some different roles on defense. And so we just continue to build off that stuff and see where we can help our defense. And it's good to have a bunch of players that have experience in the league that's only going to continue to serve us well. I think Vernon's got flexibility to do both. He's got experience playing nickel. He's played a lot of ball outside these last 2 years, particularly in Tampa Bay and Houston. And so he's a guy that can kind of have dual purposes there. And then Trey's done a great job playing some different roles for us inside also, but we also know he's got a ton of experience playing outside, played a ton of safety in college. So again, two guys that are really flexible and can play a lot of different roles for you.
And then another guy that's going to play such a pivotal role, I think, in this team moving forward, at least in an ideal world, would be right guard Hakeem Adeniji. So he got his first start against the Browns, first start of the season, and he was coming off that pectoral injury, flashed a little bit of potential, also got beat. It sounds like he's going to be around for the foreseeable future. Here's what Zac Taylor had to say about what he wants to see from Hakeem Adeniji, and then Adeniji as well on coming back from the injury.
We had high expectations for him going into the injury. I think Frank was really excited about him also from what he'd seen on his college tape when he was in New York evaluating him at Kansas. So he came in with a good feel for Hakeem. And then he played a bunch of different roles for us last year and did well as a rookie. He was able to mentally handle it. Physically played really well at Pittsburgh in his first start last year at left tackle. And so he was just a guy that we were excited to add in the mix and see what role he could play for us. And it just so happened we were at a point where we could take the opportunity to look at him right guard right now. We knew that he has physical traits and mentally it all makes sense for him. He hadn't practiced very much. He played in the game. He did some really good things, some things we need to improve on. And so in the next game, it's just, okay, you've made maybe a mistake. Let's not repeat mistake. Let's see you just kind of get confidence, not the right word because he's a confident guy. He prepares himself the right way, but just confidence in, okay, I've gone against some really good D tackles. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm a good player. I belong, and just continue to play with more and more confidence. And that's not to say he hasn't played with confidence. It's just I think the more guys get in the mix and get to play in real games, the better that they're going to get.
I was just ready. I was preparing that way. I was preparing that way in the offseason, and as soon as I could come back, I was training that way. I was ready for whenever I could come. So, and what for me is just business as usual. I was trying to get back right away. As soon as it happened, I was like, do I have to have surgery? All right, if I do, how quick can I get back? So my whole mindset was getting back as quick as I could so I could help out my team.
all key components. Notice I didn't really mention Joe Burrow in this video. No Jamar Chase. We spent a lot of time on them, and deservedly so. But I thought we would spend some time on some of these other guys that are going to play a big role in what the Bengals do over the next 8 games. For better, for worse, it's certainly something to monitor, and we're going to monitor it here throughout the rest of the season and beyond on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here, well, then you've seen what some of our contributors have done over the past couple of weeks. Lindsey Patterson talking with Peter King earlier this week. Elise Jesse talking with CJ Uzama last week. Nicole Zembro talked with Joe Walter, excuse me. So we have awesome exclusive interviews for you as well, Bengals fans. So you're getting news clips, you're getting my reaction, you're getting Lindsay's interviews, Elise's interviews, Nicole's interviews. We have a lot for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button as we continue to move up the YouTube charts, so to speak. And we appreciate every single one of you. And we'll be back at it with the latest from Paul Brown Stadium when news breaks, certainly on Thursday. And then it'll be Prediction Friday again with the Raiders and Bengals looming this Sunday. Until then, I'm James Rapien. As always, thank you so much for watching.